Hello, very good evening. Welcome to ITV News this Friday evening.
Hello, thanks for your company. Here's what's coming up in tonight's programme. How
one man's fight against a fine when he was unable to buy a train ticket could see 75,000 similar cases overturned.
To find out that it's gone all the way to the Chief Magistrate, I mean, it feels like a great victory. It's not just fare evasion. Some of the most vulnerable people in society, people with dementia, people who just don't understand the process, not everyone is confident in interpreting obscure Victorian railway laws.
Rewarding an act of bravery, the little girl whose quick thinking saved her mum's life.
Every time I said to her, if you ever see mummy poorly, you call for someone, you call for help, you tell them everything they need to. It's clearly worked, it's done its job, and I'm so proud of her.
Track sensation, the Sheffield sprinter setting his sights on the Paris Olympics.
They say that you're a run lover. The sound of success leads barbershop choir the White Rosettes head stateside after winning a place in the World Championships.
And as a blustery day brings to an end that brief burst of heat, I'll be here with news of what we can expect from our weekend weather.
Very good evening to you. First, to the one-man campaign to see open justice for those who have been unable to buy tickets for rail journeys. Christian Waters was travelling to Leeds but couldn't buy a ticket at his local station because the machine was broken. Now, he ended up being taken to court for a criminal case over fare evasion.
Northern Rail used a so-called single justice procedure, a closed court system which only requires a magistrate to approve a prosecution, without the opportunity for the defendant to appear.
Now, after he took the case to the Chief Magistrate with the help of an online rail forum, 75,000 similar cases from various rail companies are being reviewed for wrongful prosecution. Alan Steele reports.
When Christian Waters went to buy a ticket here in 2022, he couldn't.
So tell me what happened when you got to this ticket machine.
Yeah, so normally as soon as you touch quick buy, it comes up instantly with the list of destinations. This time it froze.
Trying to get to work, he thought there'd be other options to buy the £3.50 ticket for the 8-minute Northern Rail journey to Leeds.
So you assumed you could get a ticket on board here, didn't you?
Exactly, I thought I'd either get one on the train or at the excess fares window in Leeds. And then when I didn't see a conductor on the train, I got to the excess fares window and there was a group of revenue inspectors and they pulled me out of the queue and then they looked up on their device and said, our device says the machine at Kirkstall Forge is working, therefore we're giving you a penalty fare.
How did you feel then?
Well, I felt really annoyed because it wasn't the first time the machine hadn't been working and I'd felt like a criminal.
Christian refused to pay the £20 fine. He planned to appeal and assumed if he was unsuccessful, he'd be taken to a civil court. But Northern Rail, in line with other train companies, used a fast-track prosecution known as a single justice procedure, or SJP. This allows a magistrate's hearing to be held behind closed doors. Crucially, it's a criminal case, not a civil one.
It does seem wrong to me that you can prosecute somebody in a closed court. I mean, if you're going to prosecute, it should be in an open court. I mean, most people who are caught without a ticket will sort of pay a penalty notice, and that'll be it. But as I say, it can be very difficult sometimes to buy a ticket.
Christian challenged the use of the SJP, a case the Chief Magistrate in London took up.
What's in question here is the legality of these so-called single justice procedures. And since Christian took it to the highest level, Northern Rail now no longer use them. A spokesman for Northern Rail added that their focus remains on treating people fairly and ensuring anyone who gets on one of these trains has a valid ticket.
And then to find out that it's gone all the way to the Chief Magistrate and he has said that 75,000 rail convictions are probably unlawful and will probably be quashed. I mean, it feels like a great victory.
Those cases include other rail companies. And while companies like Northern will still use SJPs for bylaw offences like antisocial behaviour, Christian now hopes that vulnerable people won't be penalised.
It's not just fare evasion. Some of the most vulnerable people in society, people with dementia, people who just don't understand the process. Not everyone is confident in interpreting obscure Victorian railway laws.
The Chief Magistrate will make a decision on those 75,000 cases on July the 19th. Whatever the outcome, Christian hopes he's paved the way for open justice on the railways. Helen Steele, ITV News in Leeds.
Next on Calendar, to a brave young girl from Mansfield whose calmness and quick thinking helped her mum when she started experiencing symptoms of a stroke.
6-year-old Aurora Chilvers phoned her granddad when she noticed that something was wrong, and he was able to connect her with the emergency services. Now she's been given an award for her bravery. Hannah Norbury reports.
A special assembly for a remarkable young girl. Aurora Chilvers was just 6 years old when her mum, Beth, became seriously unwell. There were no other adults in the house, so Aurora rang her granddad.
Beth was mumbling and not coherent at all. And it was that point that I sort of said, right, well, OK, sweetheart, put the phone down. Granddad's going to call 999 now. It was then that I realised it was more serious.
The emergency services then called Aurora. During that phone call, Aurora was able to describe her mum's symptoms, helping the emergency services understand what was happening.
I can't open my eyes. She can't open her eyes.
OK, so Mummy can't open her eyes.
My hands are cold. Her hands are cold.
Knowing from her granddad that she was only 6 years old, it was amazing to know that she was able to tell me exactly what was wrong with her mum to be able to get that help.
Every time I said to her, if you ever see Mummy poorly, you call for someone, you call for help, you tell them everything they need to. It's clearly worked. It's done its job. And I'm so proud of her.
She's now been awarded a certificate from the paramedics who helped her mum that day, showing just how brave she was.
She's an incredible little 6-year-old, she really is. A lot of adults go to pieces, but no, she was very calm. So everything she did was absolutely admirable, and she deserves the reward that she's got, most definitely.
She's such a bubbly, lively, friendly little character. We weren't actually surprised that she'd taken on that challenge and done what she needed to do in that moment.
Aurora dreams of one day working for the emergency services. But for now, she's happy being her mum's little hero. Hannah Norbury, ITV News, Mansfield.
Oh, well done to her. Now, the funeral for former rugby league star Rob Burrow will take place on the 7th of July, the day the Leeds Rhinos annually celebrates Rob Burrow Day because of the iconic number 7 shirt worn by Rob during his illustrious rugby league career.
Rob passed away last month after a 4-year battle with motor neurone disease. The service will be for invited guests only, but members of the public are welcome to stand on the roadside if they wish to pay their final respects to Rob as the cortege makes its way to the service.
And you can find out the route the cortege will be taking on our website. Just go to itv.com/calendar.
Now, hundreds of university students and staff in Sheffield have donned their walking boots today to raise money for vital research into motor neurone disease.
Yes, the Big Walk has seen people hiking up to 30 miles in a route to the Peak District and back, all to help fund the university's Neuroscience Institute. Well, Ben Bason's on the finish line for us this evening. And Ben, how's it been going?
Well, Ian, it seems very well indeed. Welcome to the beer garden at the University Arms, the finish line of the Big Walk. As you can see behind me, a lot of hikers resting, recuperating and celebrating after their hike. Well, it all started this morning in a very drizzly Red Myers playing fields where the hikers set off and the route took them out to the Peak District and then back here to the centre of town. This all, of course, is to raise money for groundbreaking MND research here at the university. Earlier on, I went down to the Citran labs where that takes place to find out exactly where the money's going.
The money here that's going to be raised by the Big Walk is really important to sustain Stitchram going forward. It can make a huge difference, the sort of research we're doing. It can help people to feel better with the condition, it can help people to plan their lives, take holidays, spend time with their families, and ultimately when there's a cure for this condition, which I really am optimistic there will be, it will just change the lives of huge numbers of people in the world that are affected by MND.
Well, there are lots of people who finished the Big Walk here with me, proudly displaying their medals. I must stress it's not a race, but Ollie did cross the finish line first. Ollie, how was it for you?
It's been a really good day out. It's been tough. It's been hard work. We've had to walk and run up a lot of hills. So people have been doing a 20-mile route or a 30-mile route. We've been out in the Peak District. We've been through some weather, but we've made it to the finish. And we've hopefully contributed to raising some money for an important cause.
Absolutely. Eleanor, how did you find it?
It was lots of fun, and I'm glad the weather got better towards the end.
I'm going to say it started a bit drizzly, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. We had coats on.
Well, thank you very much, guys. Well, this is a great event for everyone, but it's also for a really good cause as well. I'm joined by Ashley from the University of Sheffield. Ashley, what kind of difference can money from these events make?
Well, Ben, it's great to see the community come together in such a good cause. Motor neurone disease is such a devastating condition for the sufferers and also for their families. And as yet, we do not have a cure. Now, at the University of Sheffield and our partners, we've done some wonderful research that has helped us understand the disease and improve the lives of patients. But as yet, that cure is still elusive. And events like this will raise the money that we need to find that cure that we so desperately need.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Ashley. Well, finishers here have been enjoying a specially brewed beer, a Big Walk beer. 10p of every pint goes towards the fundraising. I think you'll agree it's a much-deserved Friday night beverage for these people who've taken part.
Ben, thank you very much in Sheffield for us. Yes, I think there may be a few blisters there as well as the beer. Now, the ITV Evening News continues here at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Charlene White.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, the Prime Minister speaks out about the racial slur used against him by a reform activist. Calls for President Biden to stand aside after the TV debate against Trump. The man accused of planning to kidnap and murder Holly Willoughby gives evidence. And could this year's Glastonbury Festival be the most diverse one yet? Join us for those stories and more from 6:30.
Charlene. Now, an exhibition celebrating the contribution of the Windrush generation to British life and culture has gone on display in Leeds. It includes painting, ceramics and textiles. The artist Helen France is showing a range of her works in Hare Hills called Windrush Stories.
They combine Helen's Caribbean heritage with her experience of coming to Yorkshire as one of many who made the city their home in the post-war years. And as she's been telling Lisa Adlam, where she pursued her childhood ambition to become an artist.
The vibrant colours and textures in Helen France's art speak to her roots growing up on the island of Nevis. Symbols and themes from the Caribbean she brought with her as a 20-year-old who was part of the Windrush generation. They sit alongside symbols of the city where she overcame discrimination and little representation to pursue her dream to be an artist.
All my hopes was one day, when I'm grown up, I'll be able to go to college and get more experience or different techniques. So when I came to England, I decided I must go further with my art.
Helen's exhibition, Windrush Stories, celebrates the countless others who answered Britain's call to its then empire to help rebuild the country following the Second World War. For those viewing it today, they're familiar stories and important ones which should be recognised.
They believed in Britain and they really wanted to take action to help build up the country. So they're a fundamental part of British culture. So this is a very important exhibition because it shows you how the Caribbean people have been such a vibrant and inspirational community within this country.
It's important for us to know about where we come from, where we're going, our textures, our cultures, and things that we can actually do. We never even the people don't tend to put us high up on that pedestal, but it's nice that we can get there.
The exhibition is being held at the Shine Centre in Hare Hills in Leeds, which is aiming to place free, accessible art at the heart of its community.
It does two things, doesn't it? It lets people that this would resonate with, the Afro-Caribbean community that is in this area, especially here and over at Chapeltown, but also people that have not been to this area. We strive to get people that are coming from other areas of Leeds that have not been into Hare Hills before to open their eyes to say this is a fantastic, vibrant community.
And those who are inspired by the Windrush stories and the story of Helen France will be able to view her work at the centre for the next 6 months. Lisa Adlam, ITV News, Hare Hills in Leeds.
Yes, good luck with that exhibition. Now then, we like to think of our region as pretty special when it comes to Olympic success. No doubt this summer we'll be seeing where Yorkshire would lie in the medal table in Paris if it were a country.
Yes, but we're not exactly known for being great sprinters, are we? Well, step forward 21-year-old Louis Hinchliffe from Sheffield, who earlier this month catapulted himself onto the radar by winning the 100-metre American College title.
Louis studies at the University of Houston, where his running coach is none other than Olympic legend Carl Lewis. Incredible. Chris Dawkes has been speaking to Great Britain's latest track sensation.
Talk about bursting onto the scene. Within the space of just 9.95 seconds, Louis Hinchliffe had rewritten history and launched himself into contention for this summer's Olympic Games. Early this month, the 21-year-old sprinter from Sheffield became the first European winner of the prestigious American College NCAA 100-metre title.
A lot of the past Olympic champions and world champions have been in the NCAA, so yeah, I actually do it. Yeah, it took a couple of days to kind of settle in and be like, yeah, we've won the NCAA championship.
A student at Houston University since August, Louis' potential was first spotted during a PE lesson at St Marie's Primary School in Sheffield. His teacher then was Mr Laurie. His coach now is Olympic legend Carl Lewis.
He's definitely the main reason that I've got this far, I kind of improved this much. I'll probably put it down to his workout. So,
do you ever get starstruck?
I think maybe the first time you meet him, we'll still be walking at the airport or down the street and people be asking for pictures. Kind of constantly reminded he's a very big celebrity, but yeah, he's kind of just like a coach now to me.
Might be you soon though, being asked for pictures.
I think I've got a long way to go. I think he's got 9 gold medals.
This week, Louis has flown home to compete at the Olympic trials in Manchester, which begin tomorrow. Finish in the top 2, and he'll be part of Team GB at this summer's Games in Paris.
The Olympic team was always kind of a dream, when I was just that kid running in Sheffield. So to do that would be amazing, to be honest. So yeah, I'd say my main dream would be winning an Olympic gold medal, but I think that might be a bit of a reach this year, so I have to wait for that one. But just making the team, to be honest, I'll just be happy to be there.
Well, you get the impression we'll be hearing a lot more about this lad from the Steel City chasing gold from across the pond. Chris Dawkes, ITV News.
Yes, good luck to Louis. Now then, this weekend, a Leeds-based female barbershop choir are heading to the States for the biggest competition in the group's 47-year history.
The White Rosettes have won multiple awards over the years, including an unprecedented 17 nationals and 3 European championships. And it's fingers crossed to be crowned world champion. Sarah Clark joined them for a dress rehearsal.
They say that you're right around love.
Focused on making history and becoming pioneers, the White Rosettes. They have the honour of representing the UK in the prestigious Barbershop Harmony Society's international contest in Cleveland, Ohio next Wednesday.
The night.
Becoming the first ever British female chorus to do so.
absolutely fabulous. The first time the Ladies Association of British Barbershop Singers have been able to take their best to the international stage and compete with everybody else. So yeah, it's a huge honour and a great thrill.
I think it's a brilliant chance for us to actually show what we can do and showcase what we do over here in the UK and enjoy ourselves and be on a stage with a different audience watching.
40 groups from across the globe will perform their best for a chance of winning the world title.
We're going to be competing, but also going to get the opportunity to experience other people on stage and learn from that and just be wowed by it, because there are some amazing groups that we're competing against.
To get all 55 members pitch perfect takes commitment and a lot of practice.
Every week is like a singing lesson, and we have a great leader in Sally. She's fabulous and encourages us to do the best we can. I think we are a community, so as well as the singing, we have a lot of fun. It's very hard work, it's great dedication.
During the heats, they'll perform 2 songs.
We'll be starting with It Only Takes a Moment. It's a beautiful love song and one that's able to demonstrate our ability to engage through warmth and colour in our vocal tone. And then in complete contrast, obviously to show off our skills, we've got a very fast rhythmic piece of music that was kind of a pop song. It's really exciting. There's like 4 key changes in it and has a really, really big loud bits at the end. It's everything what an up-tempo should be for contest.
They may be Leeds-based, but the feeling of winning has not only seen members travel from Wales, Beverley and York, but being part of the White Rosettes for decades. Jane Ford is celebrating her 42nd year.
It's thrilling, absolutely thrilling. When the work that you've done to lead up to that particular event, and then you can get on stage and you can do your best and you think you've done your best, and then you've just got to sit and wait with the nail-biting times. And yeah, we've done it 17 times, so something must be working.
And the plan for the States contest?
To give our best performance ever. That's what we need to do. Nothing else, no other pressures, just the best performance ever.
We wish them luck and fingers crossed they return home with a trophy. Sarah Clark, ITV News, Leeds.
Wonderful. I'm sure they will give it their best, won't they?
I can see you doing that. You know, you've got the face for it. You could do all those.
I'm just watching them thinking, it looks like such fun.
Well, join them.
We better go to the weather, I think. Here's Nick Miller.
Good visibility on the horizon. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello, it's certainly cooler out there now. The cooler feel enhanced by a fairly blustery day with a few showers, threatening skies at times. Still made it to 20 degrees on the coast, mind you, though overall temperatures are much closer to the average now. And this is the weekend picture. There's a weather system that will deliver cloud and the chance for some rain at times tomorrow. That clears away by Sunday, ridge of high pressure moving in. So overall this weekend, Sunday does look to be the drier, brighter day. And again, temperatures much closer to the average and no sign of the return of the heat we had in the past week anytime soon, as we'll see when we get to the outlook. Now, largely clear skies for the rest of this evening and tonight. There's some cloud increasing though later in the night as that weather system starts to push that cloud towards us from the west. Double figure temperatures around 10 to 13 degrees as we kick off our Saturday. Any early brightness tomorrow will be very limited. It's in the morning we're going to see cloud and some outbreaks of mostly light rain and drizzle that will continue on and off into the afternoon through parts of the Pennines into the North York Moors, for example, whereas in the afternoon the rest of us are looking mainly dry, maybe with some hazy brightness out there. Still 21 degrees Celsius for Hull, but for most of us we're just into the high teens at best. As weather system clears southwards from us overnight Saturday into Sunday, again the chance of a little bit of rain as it does. So that ridge of high pressure building in for Sunday. There's still going to be a lot of cloud around, the chance of a shower or two into the Pennines, but overall Sunday is looking a bit brighter. There will be some sunny spells coming through that cloud. Feel a touch cooler still by Sunday. A lot of fine weather continuing into next week, but as I mentioned earlier, no sign of the return of that heat anytime soon as we get on into July. Your pollen is next.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
Well, our weather may have cooled a bit. There have been 1 or 2 showers around. Hasn't done much for the pollen going into the weekend. We remain very high tomorrow. A little bit of relief for Sunday and Monday as we drop to high.
I think it feels a bit autumnal.
It does already, doesn't it?
Yes.
You see, I told you.
I know.
Nobody believed me last night.
No. Never
Have
mind.
a great weekend, won't you? Good night.
Bye-bye.